I'm gonna be reviewing the top 10 keto nut butters in this video. Now, warning, I am a bit of an expert on this topic, but I'm also very biased because I do own my own nut butter company that is a keto product. But I'm gonna be giving a fair review to all my competitors because there is a lot of amazing nut butters out there. And I'm gonna save what I think is the best keto nut butter for last, so you have a chance to see all the other nut butters that are great for keto. And as we go through this list, I have links to all the products we're gonna be talking about in the links down below. Go to the description and you'll see them. Nut butter is an amazing snack for keto, so make sure you pay attention and stick around till the end of the video because I'm gonna tell you how you can get a free sample of performance nut butter to try yourself and determine for yourself what is the best keto nut butter. So let's start with the first one, and that is Fbomb. And Fbomb is probably my closest competitor, and we're gonna go over the pros and the cons of all these different products. The first pro for Fbomb is the owners are actually really nice people. I was hesitant to include my closest competitor on this list, but they're nice people, and I wanna be completely unbiased and I wanna be completely fair in this review. So first one is they're nice. Second pro is the price. It's pretty decently priced. And some backstory on Fbomb is it was started by two people, a couple, and then they did get some investment. They got a lot of investment, outside investment, which is very helpful because it made it so they were able to lower their price. I have not done that yet. It's a lot, I don't have the same amount of volume. They make a lot more volume than I do, so they're able to get their price down, which is a benefit for you. The next pro is they have a lot of different flavors. You can click on the links down below to see all the different flavors, but I right now only have one flavor. I'm gonna be coming out with a second flavor soon. They have a lot of different flavors, which is a good thing to look at if you're on keto and you're looking to try out some different variety. And the last pro is, other than my company, I'd say this is the only other company on the list that has completely simple natural ingredients. A lot of the keto nut butters out there add in processed ingredients to help increase the flavor, help get you more addicted to eating more. They don't do that. And if you're on keto, you wanna make sure you're eating healthy, natural food, not stuff that's processed, because a lot of the stuff out there, the whole point is just to get you addicted in eating more, and you wanna avoid that. Now, I will say there is one exception to this. One of their products does include some processed stuff, some sugar and some milk, and that is actually their most popular flavor, which is their salted chocolate macadamia nut product. I forget exactly the flavor. In that product, they do, because it is chocolate, they actually add real chocolate, which has sugar and has milk. In my opinion, I would not eat that on keto. I would eat all their other products on keto, but I would not personally eat that because it does have sugar and it does have dairy and it's very processed. That's up to you. Like I said, that is one of their most popular flavors. I do have a link down below if you want to look into it. And so that is one of the cons I would say is avoid that flavor because it does have some processed ingredients. That's my opinion. Now I will say I was inspired by this flavor to create my own version of this that's purely simple natural ingredients. It's gonna be a cacao performance nut butter and only gonna be adding cacao, no sugar, no sweeteners, no junk, no fillers, just really good stuff. If you wanna get on the wait list for that, I have a link down below. I will be giving out free samples of the cacao. You can check out the link down below. But other than that, there's not a lot of cons with Fbomb. I actually have a lot of respect for them and I think what they're doing is amazing. I think they just have different options than what my company has, but both companies are absolutely amazing. So let's get to number two. And number two, I don't feel quite so fondly about, and that is the Perfect Keto Nut Butter. Now, I'm gonna be biased on this one a little bit more because I have a little bit of a personal negative feelings towards this company. And part of that is they more or less copied a lot of my formula. Now, they did put their own spin on it, so I give them credit for that. But I was the first macadamia coconut cashew blended nut butter, which is an amazing blend. If you haven't tried it yet, those three nuts taste great together. And so what they did is they basically took that blend and added some MCT oil to it and some other kind of filler ingredients. And to be honest, I don't blame them. It's a great blend and adding MCT oil to it can help in keto as well. But the other thing that happened that I'm personally not so happy about was they went to the same manufacturer that I use, and now my manufacturer doesn't really want to work with me because they're a larger company as well, and they can do bigger volume. So my manufacturer is kind of like, hey, why do we want to work with you when we can work with this other company? Again, doesn't mean that they're an evil company. It's just I have some negative feelings. So be careful during this part of the review because I might show some of my own bias. So as far as a pro, it's a great mix of nuts. Obviously, as I said, macadamia, coconut, cashew, absolutely delicious. Their product is very, very runny because they did add the MCT oil to it. I think it's, for me personally, it's liquid. It's basically the same consistency, almost as just pure oil, which for me personally is a little bit too thin. You can put it in the fridge or the freezer to make it more solid, but then it's almost a little too hard. Next pro is it does come in a jar. And a lot of the keto nut butters we'll be talking about do come in jars, some come in pouches. Right now I'm only selling in pouches, but I am looking to reintroduce jars. I did have jars before and they were leaking, and as I said, we both use the same manufacturer. They were having some issues with their jars too, so be careful. I guess I can put that as a con as well. Be careful if you get the jars. At least in the past, they may have fixed it. There was some leaking issues that may have since been fixed. And the last pro is that they added MCT oil. So if you're big on MCT oil and if that's part of your ketogenic diet, then I would say that this is a nut butter that may be worth checking out. Again, remember it's very thin, so it's not like a typical nut butter. It's more of like a snack. But I would also say, to me, that's a little bit of a con. I personally try to avoid processed stuff, anything that's processed. And even though MCT oil can be healthy if done properly, I personally don't want added MCT oil to my food. Now, you may feel very differently. A lot of people on keto feel very differently. Coconut already has natural MCT in it, so I don't feel the need to add extra MCT because MCT oil is processed. I personally have an opinion that we might find out later on that MCT oil causes some issues, like all things that are processed. When processed sugar first came out, they thought it was amazing, and then they later found out, oh no, obviously having too much of a good thing is a bad thing. I'm nervous that the same thing might be true with MCT oil, but I don't have any facts to back that up or anything like that. That's just my personal opinion. The other cons that I already mentioned are there was some problems with the jars leaking that may have already been fixed, and it's a very thin product. All right, let's get on to the next one. Obviously, like I said, I was biased on that one a little bit. For the next one, let's talk about pecan butter. And I have no negative feelings towards this. I think this is a great product. Like everything, it does have the pros and the cons. But as far as a pro, it's all natural, which is amazing. It's just pecans mashed up, put into nut butter. It also has a really good consistency. It's probably closer to what you're typically used to with an almond butter or a peanut butter. And as far as cons, I will say at $22.99, at least that's the last price that I checked. You can check the current price by clicking the links down below. $22.99 for an 8-ounce jar. That's not very much nut butter. It's a little bit pricey in my opinion, but it's a good product. If you have the money, maybe try it out and see how you feel. Now the number 4 keto nut butter is the Nush almond keto butter, and what they did here is they basically took almond butter and added some MCT oil to it. So as far as pros, it's a good portable option. Since it does come in little pouches, you can take it on the go and go different places, which a few of the different companies we're gonna be talking about has that. So that is one pro, that it's portable. For the next pro, I will also say it has a decent flavor. It's not something I personally like, but I think that if you're into kind of sweeter, more sugary type things, you might like that. Now, as far as cons with this product, there's quite a bit in my opinion. I would avoid this personally, and that's for a few different reasons. One, almonds aren't the best keto option. They're actually really high in omega-6s, which is inflammatory. And when you're on keto, you wanna try to avoid as much omega-6s as possible. Actually, in general, you wanna avoid omega-6s. For the standard American diet, we get way too many omega-6s and not enough omega-3s. That's why you hear omega-3s are so beneficial. You wanna have a balance between your omega-6s and your omega-3s. So the more omega-6s you eat, the more omega-3s you're gonna need to eat. So I would avoid almonds on the ketogenic diet, and obviously that's the basis of this product. It also, and this is both a pro and a con, it has MCT oil. So depending on how you feel about processed MCT oil, it's up to you. I personally put this as a con, but you might put it as a pro. And then the last con on this product is it contains sugar and oat bran. Please guys, when you're buying nut butter, read the ingredients. If there's more than just nuts and maybe a little bit of high quality salt in the product, I personally say don't buy it. It depends on what you're looking for. If you have a sugar craving and you're looking to replace it, then sure, go for it. But I'd say that's a big con for me. Non-nut ingredients, like artificial stuff. So next up, number 5 is fat fudge. And fat fudge is technically not a nut butter. It's actually tahini butter, which is sesame seeds. But the first pro is if you're not into nuts, or at least if you want to take a break from nuts and have a seed butter, this could be an option for you. Another pro is it does have all natural ingredients, which is awesome. I like products that don't have overly processed things, and this does have all natural ingredients. And the last pro is it does come in little portable pouches. I'm all about the portable pouches because I know you're probably busy, you're on the go, and you want a snack that's also on the go. So that is another pro with this. Now, as far as cons, it does have honey. So I don't personally think you need to add a lot of sweetener to your snacks, especially if you're on keto. You want to avoid products that have honey. The next con is, and this isn't just my opinion, this is what a lot of people say, I don't think it tastes very good. A lot of people online don't really like the flavor. That's up to you. Now, that's obviously my personal opinion. Buy it, try it, tell me what you think. I have a link to it down below. And as a quick side note, please, if you're watching this, leave a comment on what your favorite nut butter is. If it's something I already mentioned or something I didn't mention, whatever it is, and feel free to disagree with anything I said. I know there's gonna be a lot of people out there that disagree with what a lot of the things I said. But for number 6, we have coconut butter, and there's a lot of different brands. Binny's coconut butter is a good one. Artisana has some coconut butter. There's a bunch of other ones. I'll put links to them down below so you can check out, compare prices. And the first pro is, I think this is a great product. I think coconut butter is cheap, which is really nice, because when you're on keto, most keto snacks are expensive. Even the snack that I make is relatively expensive, and it's because fat is a relatively expensive thing to make into a snack. It's really easy to make high carb snacks. It's relatively easy to make high protein snacks, but high fat snacks can be expensive. And Binny's and the coconut butter in general is pretty cheap. The next pro is it has pretty good macros. It's really high in fat. And the last pro is it's delicious. So I definitely recommend checking this out if you're on keto. As far as cons, I mean, to be honest, there's not many. If you don't like coconut, that might be the only con. But other than that, I think this is a great snack for keto. So next up, number 7 might be my least favorite company on this list. This might be the company I have the most animosity to. So again, be careful with my review, but there's a valid reason why. The owner of this company, before he started the company, actually messaged me and was interested in investing in my company, interested in buying my company. The owner of this company sold a different company for $100 million. Actually, I think it was $200 million, but he got half that. So this guy's got a lot of money. And to me, part of the reason I have a lot of animosity towards this company is it's a bit of a David versus Goliath situation. And I came out obviously with my product probably a year or two before they came out with theirs. And it's been really sad to watch because a lot of the people that I look up to have talked about this product and they don't know about my product because I'm a lot smaller. I don't have the marketing budget to pay them to send out emails and all that kind of stuff. My personal hero, Tim Ferriss, actually sent out an email, and in the email he mentioned this company, which broke my heart because I always wanted to be, the first nut butter that he mentions, but I don't have the funds to be able to, it's really expensive to get Tim Ferriss to send out an email about your company. I don't have the funds to do that. It also really surprised me that he sent an email out about this company because he usually avoids artificial sweeteners, and this product has artificial sweeteners. Okay, so without any further delay, the company I'm talking about is Superfat. And remember, based on everything I just said, I am biased. There's links down below. If you guys want to try it yourself. Leave a comment what you think about this product. Like, I'm not trying to be biased, but I'm inherently am. And so there's some pros. There's some really good pros. One of the first ones is they have a nozzle tip, which is something that I would love to do. I just don't. It's relatively expensive to do. They have a nozzle tip, and it's resealable too. So that's a huge pro, is if you want to have half the packet pouch, if you want to have half the pouch of nut butter and seal it up and eat some more later, you can do that with Superfat. Another pro is they have a lot of flavors. I started out with just one flavor because it's really expensive to create new flavors and have the inventory for it, but they have the money and they have 5 different flavors. Again, there's a link down below. You can check them all out. And I say the last pro is they're decently tasty. It's not, to me, they taste a little bit chemically fake, but for the average person, it's probably decently tasty. And that kind of brings us into the first con. And the first con is they are all sweetened with stevia and erythritol. So these are not paleo-friendly products. Anything that has erythritol in it, for instance, is not a paleo-friendly product. Now, you might not care about that. If you're just on keto and you're looking for a sweet treat, this could be a good option. Another con with this company is they use almonds. And we talked about almonds earlier. Almonds are very high in omega-6s, and generally, I think you should avoid them on keto, and a lot of experts would agree, but obviously that's up to you, depends on how strict of keto you're doing. And another con is a lot of their ingredients are not organic, and I understand macadamia nuts, you pretty much can't buy macadamia nuts organic. It's almost impossible to do. There's a few different companies we've already talked about, including mine, that do use macadamia nuts, and I think that's okay not to use organic macadamia nuts. Because the macadamia nuts are in such a hard shell, they don't really use pesticides because the bugs don't eat the product. For instance, they usually use pesticides on blueberries because bugs will eat the blueberries themselves, where with a macadamia nut, they're not really gonna be using that. So I don't fault them for not using organic macadamia nuts, but as far as the rest of the ingredients, I think they should be using organic ingredients for the rest of it. Now, they might have changed this. The last time I checked, they weren't using organic products, and if that's something that worries you, then I would steer clear. But obviously, feel free to try out this company and all the companies I'm talking about. Next up is Legendary Foods, and I've met some of the owners of this, and they're really nice people as well. So I'll put that as the first pro, really nice. The second pro is it tastes real good. This is a really good tasting product. Now, obviously, part of the way that they were able to make it taste good is by adding stevia and erythritol. So that is a con for me. I personally, again, don't think you need these artificial sweeteners to have a great tasting, healthy product. But if you're looking for a healthier option, a more keto-friendly option to satisfy your sweet tooth, this could be a good alternative for you. So as far as cons, we already talked about it contains artificial sweeteners. The other con is it's pretty much primarily almonds. And almonds, again, are not the best, even though a lot of these nut butters contain almonds. Do your research, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments, but almonds are not the best keto-friendly nut out there because they're high omega-6s. It is a delicious product, and if you like it, or if you like any of these nut butters, or if you just like this video, hit that like button down below. When you hit that like button, it lets me know that you appreciate what I'm doing here, but also it lets YouTube know that this is a decent video. So we only have 2 more nut butters left. And then I'm gonna tell you how you can get a free sample pouch of Performance Nut Butter, my keto-friendly nut butter, so you can try for yourself, determine what the best keto nut butter is. So the next one I'm gonna talk about is there's a ton on Amazon. So for number 9, there's a ton of different ones. I didn't have time to review all of them. I put links down below, but generally speaking, a lot of the ones that you'll see on Amazon, there's some that are better than others. I'd say try to get as high macadamia nuts as possible because that's one of the best keto-friendly products. Also, coconut can be a very keto-friendly nut butter. Pecans and Brazil nuts, those and peely nuts. So all of those together, I have links down below, check those out. So finally, number 10, my product, Performance Nut Butter. I'm gonna talk about the pros and the cons, and then I'm gonna tell you how you can get your own free sample pouch to try it out for yourself, make your own decision. So the first pro of this product is it's all natural, real ingredients, macadamia, coconut, cashew, and just a hint of Himalayan sea salt. That's it. And it tastes good because it's what your body is really craving. Your body really craves healthy, natural fats, healthy, natural foods. And I think on a deep, primitive level, we want high quality fuel. So I really believe that your body craves these kind of real foods, and junk food and a lot of those artificial sweeteners are just trying to imitate what naturally occurs in macadamia, coconuts, and cashews because you have the natural fats. You have like a sweetness that comes from the coconut and the cashews. It's absolutely delicious. Again, you're gonna get a chance to try it yourself so you can make your own decision. But another benefit of it is a good fatty acid profile. It's relatively low in omega-6s. It's actually really high in omega-9s, which is the same oil that's found in olive oil. And you hear a lot about how olive oil is good for you. And that's because omega-9s tend to make it easier for your blood to flow, which makes it easier for your blood to get the nutrients into your body. And it's relatively anti-inflammatory. The last pro is by supporting Performance Nut Butter, you're supporting me. And I thank you for that. And it's pretty much me. I'm pretty much the entire company. All the other companies we've talked about have large teams, they have a lot of investment behind them. But if you believe in like small businesses and supporting small businesses, then definitely check out my product. So all those pros aside, there are some cons. And I know that there's some cons with my product. Like I'm not perfect, my product's not perfect. And the first con is the shape. And this kills me. It's a rectangle shape. It's not hard to use, but I really wish I had some kind of a nozzle tip, as I talked about earlier. It's really expensive to buy those machines, which I can't afford to do. And the co-packers that can do a nozzle tip, they require extremely high minimum runs. My minimum run is relatively small because, like I said, I'm a small company, so that is a con. So if you need a nozzle tip, that could be an issue. Now, trust me, you just tear off a side of it. It's not that complicated, but this has killed me not having a nozzle tip. The next con is, as of right now, as of filming this video, I only have one flavor, but I am gonna be coming out with a second flavor. And the second flavor is gonna be my original blend and adding straight cacao, which has a ton of health benefits, and it really does taste amazing. Now, I will say a con for that product is it will have a little bit of a bitter flavor. It'll be like a dark chocolate. So if you're a milk chocolate person, then this may not be the best product for you, but it does have a ton of health benefits and it gives you a lot of energy. Now, if you wanna try a free sample pouch of Performance Nut Butter, click on this link right here. Give me your information and I will tell you exactly how to get a free sample pouch of Performance Nut Butter. So click on that link to get your free sample pouch. All you need to do is give me your information and we're good to go. So make sure to click on that link and then let me know what you think about Performance Nut Butter. I hope you love it. I put my heart and soul into this company, so check out that link.